Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and especially you nephew, welcome back to another Union Arena video. Now, I know it's been a minute since my last upload. I had a busy week last week, but we're back. I was gonna say back and better, but this was not the deck for me. I'll just start this video off by saying that I could not figure out what was going on with this deck. I don't know if I just wasn't managing my trash right, managing my searches right, but you'll see in the games today. But today's deck, we have the purple homunculus deck from the Fullmetal Alchemist set. I know I missed launch day for Attack on Titan last week, but if you want to see some Attack on Titan decks, we already got videos out for that on the channel, so you can go ahead and look there. But we're going to get back to the Fullmetal Alchemist set for these next couple videos, starting with this one. Well, I already started before, but continuing with the purple homunculus deck. Okay, so let's hop into it. Going over, okay, so for this video, golly, it's been too long. It hasn't even been that long. It's only been a week. But this video, we're going over the deck list. We have 3 games for you, and then we'll go back over the deck list, talk about some changes or changes to the deck that I feel like we should make. But this is the deck list. If you guys have noticed anything, we're only running 36 triggers, which is like it's like pins and needles for me. If you've seen the last video, y'all know I love these triggers, or I love triggers in my decks. But yeah, only 36 in here. Normally I'm around 40 something. But let's go over it. So we have, for our raid targets, we have 0 cost envy, 0 cost lust, and that's it for raid targets for this deck. I do have a change that I already want to make, which is the raid Wrath or King Bradley to add into the deck, but I just didn't know where, so I just continued doing this deck testing. We're actually 2 of the games that you'll see today, I am not running these 2 Bradleys and Wraths. I'm running the double energy generator to protect your cards from triggers, trying to protect the father. But the father game plan with this deck is just so inconsistent in very late game that maybe I just didn't know how to run it, but I just kept feeling like I was running into the issue where by the time I got father out, which is our boss card of the deck, it was too late, and I wasn't able to finish the game with father because either I was on 1 life and I would lose on their returning turn, or they had just built enough on their end to get rid of my father, or like side, or not trigger him because I had the trigger protection, but have cards big enough to block him out, and it just wasn't worth it. So I switched to adding these King Bradley and Wrath and this Gluttony I didn't have at first, just to have some better mid game, and I got a little bit more success adding these in, but I'm getting out of order. Our last 0 cost is this Nina and Alexander, which is non-trigger, but activate main, switch to resting, and this card generates 1 extra energy, and at the end of the main phase, sideline this character until the end of turn. So this is just good to generate some extra energy when you need it, and also filling up your sideline, which I wasn't familiar with using until like later in my testing, where I really start to use the effect of resting them and adding it to my sideline, because that is what this deck wants to do. It wants to build up his sideline. You cannot play out the father until you have 20 cards in your sideline, and similar to this Wrath, you can still play them out, but if you have 20 cards in your sideline, it gains impact. So there's cards that synergize with that, like this envy as well. If you have 10 or more cards in your sideline, choose up to 1 character with 3000 BP or less and switch it to resting on your opponent's front line. And this lust, draw 2 and place 1 into your sideline. And if you have 10 or more cards in your sideline, draw an additional card. So it's about sideline generation, a lot of cycling, a lot of trashing. But I couldn't wrap my head around it. So let's just go over it. Like I said, this envy, the other effect, which is a good effect on this envy card, is any cards with raid can perform raid on this character card. So that's your lust, if you need it, and then if I had the Bradley, you can as well, along with the envy, which is pretty cool for this deck. I don't remember seeing any other raid cards like this before, or raid targets like this before. But it has no trigger, unfortunately. For the color trigger for our deck, we have this Lust, which is a regular effect, is look at the top card of your deck. If that card has Homunculus affinity, you may reveal it and add it to your hand. Otherwise, place it on the top of your deck or into your sideline. So another card to help you generate your sideline while also being a double energy generator, and another raid target for this Lust. Although it's not the best target, because it is a double energy generator, and we don't run a lot of that, or we didn't run a lot of that until I added this King Bradley in to sort of fill that gap. But when you raid over this, you lose a lot of your energy for your envies and father whenever you get to him. All right, father, old father, is look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 homunculus type affinity card and add it to your hand, and place the remaining at the bottom of your deck in any order. And if you added a card into your hand from this turn, place 1 from your hand to your sideline. So your standard searcher for homunculus cards in Union Arena. The aura farming father, that's what I'm gonna call him because they have the same name. You can only play it when you have 20 or more cards in your sideline, and you can only play one of these to your field, I believe. Yeah. So if there's a card with the same number as this card, so the number is right below its power. I don't know if you see it. I can't really move my mouse right now. So you can only have one of these on your field at a time. It's a 4 energy 2 action point, so it's not like you can flood these to the board anyways. But this character just has these plainly. Double tack plainly, which is a huge effect. And when played, choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line and sideline it, which is also a huge effect, just sidelining with no restriction. And also activate main. If in the sideline, you can only activate this ability if you have 20 or more cards in your sideline. Place 3 purple cards from your hand into your sideline. If you do, add this card from your sideline to your hand. So just in case you mill it, you can add it back into your hand to play it out on the turn you need it. Or if you just want to mill it with like your draw 2 trash one, or your search and trash one, or this draw 1 trash one, you can just mill these for free, knowing that it'll be in your sideline for whenever you want to fish it back out. But like I said, it's got a decently strong ability, but the build up for it is just very, very hard to get to, and for it to be worth it once you get to it. Gluttony. This is a 4 cost, 4 energy 1 action point. Place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. This character gains double damage, and when this character wins a battle, draw a card until the end of turn. So this I added in as just some more of the mid-range and sideline theme of the deck. We don't always, get this envy out. We don't always have the raid targets to when attacking you, draw 1 and trash 1. So this is sort of, or can be, a draw 1 trash 1, just in reverse. You trash 1 first and you gain double damage, so your opponent is incentivized to block with him, or to block him. But he has a 4k BP power, so if he wins the battle, he draws a card. So it's not just you negging a card for double damage and just losing out on double damage if they have a chump blocker. So he's a pretty decent mid-range find to play out early in case you don't want to raid your envies first or just don't have them in hand. It's just a really good card to just have. That's really the idea behind this Gluttony and this Wrath. Like, this Wrath is also, it gains impact when you have 20 or more cards in your sideline, but you can still play it, unlike this Father where you can only play it if you have 20 or more. This is still just a good active trigger for KBP. I might even up this if I'm really thinking about it, and drop this father action. It just hasn't been working well. For our events, we have our AP Restander, which is Philosopher's Stone. Our special event is I'll Be Taking Yours, which has 2 effects. If you have 4 or more homunculuses, you can sideline a 5k or less, or you can place 2 cards from the top of your deck into your sideline. I rarely use that second one. I normally use this to sideline an opponent's card, but sometimes it's good to push your sideline effects. Maybe if you just need that to play out your father, you're at 18 or something, you just need to get to 20 real fast, you can use this and play them out all in the same turn. Our last event is Homunculi, which is place the 2 cards from your deck into your sideline, then add 1 purple card with homunculus affinity from your sideline to your hand. So this is also just a way to get back your father, just in case you don't have 3 cards in hand, because you do run, especially running this Gluttony, you do run really low on hand size. So it's not often that you just have the 3 cards in hand to trash and get this from your sideline. So this, you can just 2 energy, 1 action point, play this card out and re-grab your father without having to trash from hand, just trashing from your deck. Or in the same way of using this to ramp 2 more cards in your trash, you can use this to ramp 2 more cards in your trash and still grab your father, blah blah blah, like I just said. Or not final card in the deck, but our stage or site card for this deck is Countrywide Transmutation Circle. You can switch to resting and place 1 card of your deck into your sideline, and then if you have 20 or more cards in your sideline, draw a card. This is pretty good. If I really were to hard focus on the father, I would up this. Let me not. We're gonna do that later. We're gonna do that in the video. Yeah, we're gonna talk about changes at the end of the video. Let's just finish out this deck list so we can hop into the games. So our raids are Envy and Lust. Envy, when played, this character gains impact until the end of turn, and when attacking, draw a card and place 1 from your hand into your sideline, and then when sideline, choose one character on your opponent's front line and switch it to resting. So he is sort of the lifeblood of this deck, and being able to draw and trash almost every turn that he's alive. Unfortunately, I do miss a couple times where I'm supposed to draw and trash, but you know, that's what happens when you play a lot of decks. But I don't think even if I was, it would have changed my luck that much. But yeah, pretty good card. 4k BP, impact for 1 turn, draw 1 trash 1 almost every turn that he's alive. Our Lust raid is draw 2 cards, place 2 cards from your... Oh snap, I've been cheating this whole time. All right, I gotta do better at that. It's draw 2 cards, then place 2 cards from your hand into your sideline, and then if you have 10 or more cards on your sideline, draw an additional card. So I was just reading that wrong. I thought it was draw 2 trash 1. It's draw 2 trash 2. Now I feel like I gotta go and replay all of my games to see if that, because that actually might have ramped me a lot faster, thinking about it. Dang it. Oh well. But our second effect is 1 sideline, return 1 base card of this rated character to your hand. So that's, it says base card, not Lust card. So that's any of these raid targets, including this Envy, I can add back to my hand after she's sidelined. But dang, now that I think about it, oh, we're gonna have to watch these games closely to see if that'll actually help. So let's hop into game 1. with this deck. If I am remembering, I believe this is a yellow deck. Yeah, yellow One Punch Man deck. Or Saitama deck, I should say. So we go second and we play out the Nina Alexander, our 0 cost for the game, or for this deck, one of our 0 costs for the deck, and to a Father Searcher, drawing one, trashing one. I trash the Philosopher's Stone here, my AP Restander here, because I sort of like these cards in it. Oh, I forgot as well. So these are two of the cards that we were no longer running. This Dwarf in the Glass and this King Bradley. Dwarf in the Glass is when played, give a character plus 500 BP. But I was really only running it because it's a 0 cost with the active trigger. But it wasn't really getting me anywhere. I found myself just sidelining it more than actually playing it like I just did. And then so we do another Father Search, looking for our ore farming father. But we don't find him, but we do find a Lust. So we get to play out this Envy to have a flexible raid target, whether I want to play the Lust or the Envy next turn. And I should also be at 3 AP next turn. Now they have this Saitama, which I honest to God don't know what to do with this character, because it cannot be targeted by my effects, and it is 10,000 BP. So it's not like I'm gonna be sniping that out anytime soon. So I do decide to raid the Lust out, draw 2, and I think I only trash 1 here, unfortunately. Yep, just cheating. So I really should be at 5 right now. Oh yeah, because I triggered the Lust out. So I really should be at 5. Good lord, I can't believe I was reading that card wrong this entire day. But rebuilding my board, I find a 0 cost Envy, which is good, and then I get to raid out my other Envy, play an AP Restand to build the board a little bit more. Place the energy line. What do I do here? Okay, so I raid out the Lust as well to do another draw 2, trash 1, but it should be trash 2. Remember that it should be trash 2. So I'm down. So I should be at 8 in my sideline right now. Yeah. And here I go, draw 1, trash 1. I should be at 9. God, I can't believe I was missing that. Man, now I feel like all of my criticism of this deck is out the window. They get an active trigger, so I can't swing with my last Lust. But the board is looking pretty good. They have this Hellish Blizzard. Now I'm pretty sure, yeah, I use the event I have in hand to sideline this Blizzard, because her effect is to get special events from the trash to the hand, and I was like, we're not doing that today, no. So they have an AP Restand into a special event. They sideline my Envy, and then I'm just checking that there's no limit on what I can rest. There isn't, so I rest his Saitama again. Maybe no, I think resting the Saitama is the best option here. I was thinking about, because Saitama's when attacking means that he cannot he doesn't restand on my turn, so I'll have 1 less blocker to worry about. But at the same time, that double damage just has to be respected. So draw 1, trash 1 here. Sidelining the Father. Play this the energy line to look at the top card of my deck. It's a Homunculi. I think I sideline this because I'm still trying to hyper cycle through my sideline. I have no Envies to raid into, so I just sideline their Tornado, like I said, and then swing out with the Lusts. and they just block out everything, keeping their life healthy, which is smart. I feel like this deck that they're using, it needs to keep a healthy life because the Saitama doesn't restand after swinging. So they block where they can or when they can, and they have a lot of low energy but high energy generating cards. So they fill in their energy. They can push cards up to their front line as just chump blockers, and fill their energy line back up for and then I'm taking this envy back to hand. I plan to block with that lust so I can replay this envy and raiding in my other envy. But yeah. So their board is extremely solid right now. I'm really only pushing these cards up as blockers to continue to fill in my my sideline here. I believe, yeah, I take this to hand. No, I think this is fine. Yeah, because I have enough less targets to raid into, so I'm fine with sidelining my lust there. So yeah, I have 10 in my sideline, so I get to rest one of their 3k or less. So now I get to put a little bit more pressure on. I forgot to put the impact modifier on there, and I forget to draw one, trash one, so I should be at 19 right now. No, I was already at 19. I should be at 20 right now. Yeah. Oh my god. I might have to scrap this whole video, bro. I can't believe I was playing this deck so incorrectly. And that's or at least the lust mistakes last all 3 games. I won't lie to you. It's much easier in person. I'm gonna try this at my next locals, because I have every card for this deck, so I'm gonna try it at my next locals. See how it goes. I won't have time to try it again this week, as we try to get to everything. So I'm debating on blocking here. He does have impact, but I think I have to block here and just take the impact, just to reduce the amount of attackers they have. So now I can just block out and lose my board. I should block out and lose my board here at least. And block this one. Block this one. Okay, I take the damage here. Oh, I get a sideline trigger. It's not too bad. So I sideline with the trigger, which is pretty good. And then I get... Oh, okay. I remember this. So I did not read... I got knowledge checked here. I was not reading this card. So this Genos is when sidelined, if Saitama is on your field, summon a Genos of lower cost active. So I really should have sidelined this tornado. Then on the next turn, it would have been, well, actually, let me see. Let me try to pause. Yeah, so I couldn't have done anything about that, to be honest. Actually, no. Yeah, I think this game was a wrap, because I even if I played the father, I wouldn't have been able to sideline this Saitama because he can't be targeted by my effects. But this was still a misplay because I misread the card. He got another attack in because he summons in as active. So that really sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. And he's a nullified impactor. Not that it mattered much. So I end up losing my whole board, and definitely don't have game now, nor do I have a way to clear their whole board. So I just got to try my best here. I play this to the front line, and I can't really move anything off the. Oh, I can move the father off, rest the Nina for double energy, and then play this father to the front line is active. Yeah, but yeah, I try to sideline the Saitama here because I wasn't reading the card at first, but it can't be sidelined by any effects. So once I read it, I realized that. So I sidelined this Genos, which also has a one sideline effect, but that's in battle. So that was a little bit better, but still very unfortunate. Because now I'm attacking with 5k, and they can't just take these hits. It's really just game from here on out. I actually think they start doing some extra stuff. I just leave early because I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. Yeah, they move this to the front line. All they have to do here is impact swing with Saitama. Or they don't even need to impact swing with Saitama. They just need to swing all times. Yeah, so they start playing a whole bunch of stuff, AP restanding stuff. I just leave. I'm like, I'm not sitting here for that. Just finish out the game. But that was the first game. What did we miss? 3 sideline effects. So I should have been at 26. Yeah, I would have been at 20 a whole turn or earlier. Would that have saved me? I'm not completely sure. Let's see. Is it my turn here? Maybe. Cause was it here? Cause if I had played out the father here before he got to raid another Genos, I probably would have gotten rid of this one. He would have summoned a new one, but I at least would have. It's debatable if that would have saved me or not. I think the game would have been closer if I was playing it correctly, but I don't think it would have fully saved me out of the game. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll run this back in a couple weeks after I get some good runs in with other decks. But this is game 2. I believe this is still before the deck changes, so but I do go first here, developing a Nina. Maybe I should have did the draw one trash one with the Lust, but the Nina's fine. So this is a purple Demon Slayer deck, a Muzan deck, that I'm going up against. It's pretty cool. It's also a sideline theme deck. A lot of their cards is one sideline this blank happens, one sideline that happens. So I decided to use the Nina earlier just to cheat this out and, accelerate my sidelining. And I cheated out into another double energy generator, so it's not too bad on losing that card early. But they do get extremely active, pushing up 2 attackers when I have no defenses, forcing me to take 2 damage early, which really sucks. But it's not all bad with this deck because taking attacks and getting cards in the sideline isn't too bad. Or getting triggers in the sideline isn't too bad. Even non-triggers isn't too bad. But we do raid in this Envy, move it to front line, AP restand, and then play out this Envy again, and then raid in this Lust over this 0 cost, I believe. Yep. And draw 2, and then I believe only sideline 1, should be sideline 2 here. So I'm down 1, should be at 6. God, I'm gonna have nightmares about this, man. I won't lie to you. But I attack. Do I place your bets? Dang it, Donovan. I'm down 2 sidelines already. I should have drawn 1 and trashed 1 on his attack. I don't know what be going on in my head. I just get so distracted mid game. But yeah, so I should be at 7 in my sideline right now. Okay. Okay. Let's lock in, Donner. Let's lock in. This one actually hurts because this game ended very, very closely. So if I was playing this correctly, I probably would have had way, 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 or I probably would have been able to actually win this game. Spoilers, I don't win this game. But they play out a Guitar Raid. When attacking, I think it's draw a card. I get my sight, which is good. And what do I do this turn? I think yeah, play out the sight and play out the father to search top 3 for find a lust, which is good. Or no, I think I bottom deck everything here because I didn't want to sideline any of my cards in hand. I already have a double energy generating lust, and I have the raid target envy for the lust I have in hand, so I don't have to lose that double energy generator. And I wanted all the cards in hand, so I decided not to draw, just play them as energy generation. So I didn't have to sideline anything from hand. But then I used my AP restand to sideline their raid, and then to raid in my lust to the front line. Again, I have to do this because the sim doesn't see this as a raid target. I literally find every single one of my special events in hand, which you can't get mad at. But yeah, man. If I had been doing okay, here I go. Finally do it. But if I had been doing this the whole time, I actually would have drawn an extra card because I would have been at 10 already when I did the draw 2 trash 2 with that lust. So they get a special trigger. They get to sideline anything from my board. They sideline the envy, which would have rested one of their bodies, but I wasn't sweating it because it would have stood back up on their turn. But yeah, we take control of the front line for now. But they do have a lot, or they also run a very low cost deck, sort of like mine. I think their highest is around 4 energy cost. But they play this Muzan out into another Muzan, both double energy generating. This Muzan is actually like my father, the Ore Farm father, 5k BP. But he can be played to your energy line. He just can't be moved to the front line or played in the front line unless you have 20 or more cards in your sideline. But he has impact 2 and damage 2. So to be honest, I think this card is way better than Father. You can be played to the energy line. It's a double energy generator, so it's not even like you're wasting energy generation playing them out early. He can be played multiple times, like the Father. There can only be one on the field at a time. The only thing he doesn't have is the instant removal and the sideline recursion. But maybe there is a card that synergizes with this deck sideline recursion because it is a purple deck, so I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, we'll see when we check out the Demon Slayer set eventually. So they put out this Daki, 3 cost double action point, which plays out a 2 or less Guitar as active, which is huge. It's one played and one sideline. 3 or less Guitar as active. So I unlock the first one, and then I take one hoping for a trigger. I do get a trigger. I don't think I raid this out. I shouldn't, yeah, because I need that double energy generating. So I'm just letting them know I'm not raiding them. and then it passes the turn. So now I got I got an AP draw here looking for there's the fourth one. I knew I saw all four of this game, which is kind of unfortunate here. This is not the time I want to see it that much, but you know, you do what you do. So I sideline a card. That sucks. I I could have used that envy right now because I have one in hand, but so I actually use this time to ramp my sidelining to go up 2 more. So I should be at, where am I at? 18. I should be at 18 now. 18 or 19. Now I should be at, I missed another one. So now I should be at 20. So yeah. Oh, come on, Donovan. If only I could read, man. If only I could read, I promise you, I would be so much better at this game. But I don't even have the energy generation to play him out currently, now or the next turn, because I would need to play out 2 cards to my my energy line to get to 4. But yeah, at least I could have, if come on, if I had just planned it out better. So they play out this Oscar, another double action point character, but it gains impact and snipe. Oh, you have to trash too, and it gains impact and snipe, which is amazing, by the way. Snipe is you can attack directly into characters, and impact is if you win a battle, you still deal a damage. So it's just a free damage, and I lose a body, essentially. So I add this to hand first just to make sure. Okay, I get an envy ray trigger in hand, and I block out again, and then they get one more attack in, and add this to hand. So maybe, well, no, I can't even say that. I think if I was playing this correctly, I would have been in a much better situation, because I would have just been playing it differently. I would have left that lust on the energy line, knowing how close I was to 20, to get the father back from the trash and playing him out, removing a body, swinging twice, and, you know, carrying on from there. But yeah, I just sometimes it's just not, I just can't read. So I decide to play out this envy, because I am 4 cards behind in my sideline currently, 4 or 5, I think. Now 6, because I forgot to draw one trash one with the envy attack. So I continue to attack out here, seeing what they want to do. I think they just go down to 2 here to keep their board full. They get another active trigger, keep their board full, and essentially go for game, because I only have 3 blockers. There's really no way for me to get out of it at this stage. But yeah, like, if even not playing it right, I'm still out racing him in the sideline, or for him to get this Kuzan to the front line, and same thing for me to get my father out. Let me reread this. I'm sorry. I remember something happening. Oh, right. So this minus is 2 on my board, and then this is sideline a card, to sideline one of my cards, then draw a card. Yeah, okay. So they sideline the head to -2 to the envy. Yeah. Cause if the father was out and I had an envy out, envy can, on the low, block for 2, because when sidelined, he rests one of your opponent's characters. So I could block 1, let him die, and then rest another attacker, like I'm doing here. Actually, I really should just take the damage, because the game's over. There's no way this is a final card. But yeah, yeah. So, but if I had the father out by now, man, Donovan. Okay. Last game of the day. This is a rough episode, y'all. I'm sorry. But we end on a good one. I decided to go first here. This is when I make the changes. You can see I have the Gluttony and Wrath in hand now. And I decide to mulligan. Even though I had those two, I still decided to mulligan because I didn't have any early game. But now I do, with this Lust draw me into the King Bradley. And I want to keep all the raid targets I can in hand, especially this Envy and my special event. So next turn is more than likely going to be Envy into King Bradley, and then I can develop this Gluttony early, and get double damage out there and forcing him to block him out, so I can continue to draw and cycle my hand out. So yep, just setting up, and I even have an Envy for next turn if I wanted to raid him out. So this is just looking like a pretty good turn, if I do say so myself. I think I remember what I do here. It's Gluttony into the special event to get rid of the Ymir, into the Lust raid, if I do this correctly. Yeah. Because I want to sideline this Ymir, because she has a very dangerous raid target. So I'm going to force them to have both in hand again. But I push this to the front line, draw 2, and trash 1. I don't know what to trash here. I decided to trash the Envy because I have one on board and another raid target in hand. But yeah, I should have been trashing 2 here to be at 4. I actually don't think I even see the father this game anyways, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. It would have helped because I pull into the King Bradleys this game. So they get their AP restand event into a Historia raid, into a memory card, which is draw a card, trash a card, and restand an AP. Filling up their trash with their events like this deck wants. So now their Mikasa is generating an extra energy, and the Historia gives plus 1,000 to another 104th Cadet Corps member when attacking. And I know this because I just played this deck. This deck is actually super fun. I'm so excited and happy that Attack on Titan is out, and I get to actually play this at locals. So I forgot what was going on here. I think he was proccing this Historia's effect, and he put them both in the sideline. But I think he said it's either, I wasn't reading it. I should have reread it. I think it's look at the top 2 and put them at the top or bottom of your deck, if I'm remembering that correctly. I might be wrong on that though. But they attack in. I just take the damage in because I have the Gluttony, and I knew I was going to sideline her in the first place. I get my stage from it, which is huge. Now I get a sideline card every turn for free. And I get this Envy in hand, which creates a sort of an awkward situation. I just end up sidelining it, because I probably shouldn't have played out that father, or at least not done the search with it, because I went so down in hand size because I forgot I was using this Gluttony's effect to get the double damage. They get an active trigger, which is unfortunate, and then they get a raid, which is fine, because it stops my Lust from attacking, but at least I got the double damage in, and they decided to not let me draw, which was smart on my opponent because I'm down in hand size a lot, which makes it very limiting for what I can do in these next turns. So they're playing out just more and more events as this deck does, with especially with having the raid Historia on the board, and this Historia stands up in AP. Yeah, so they got AP generation for days, and there's the Ymir that they had to play and raid into. Didn't slow them down too much, but one attacker. I'm checking their events because if they have 6 or more, she can stand herself back up. So I was debating on blocking or not, but I decided not to. But I do raid this Envy in. Maybe I should have saved it for oh yeah, I'm trying to grab the lust here, but Sim's bugged. Maybe I should have saved it so I can attack in with impact, but yeah, maybe that was the better play. I mean, it leaves me room to AP draw here. Then I get to draw one trash one again. I sideline the Searcher Father, play out the AP restand, play this to the front line to rest something. Yeah, I rest this one because I don't mind if that one lives. I would much rather force them to block out with their other Historia that gains BP. Oh yeah, and actually I play this out of order. Well, it's funny. I don't have 10 right now. I should have 10 right now because I should have been trashing too. But yeah, I play this out of order. It was supposed to be rest the stage first, then play out the Envy, and you know, go from there. But my opponent's a good sport about it and lets it go through. So shout out to Jack Frosty for allowing the small play mistakes here. So I swing in for 2 with the Gluttony, forcing a block, and hopefully, or not forcing a block, but incentivizing them block and having them draw me a card. I get an impact swing in, which has gets them an active trigger. Which, going up against a deck like this, you gotta expect a lot of triggers, especially having these extra events that aren't really detrimental to a deck like this. So now they have 6 in their trash. So this is when things really start heating up for Historia and Ymir decks. A lot of AP restanding, a lot of attacking. Their Historias gain impact, which I forgot, and I got real scared in this game because I forgot that they gain impact. But they raid in another Historia, which allows them to stand up another AP, and they get another Ymir out. Now, luckily, the Ymir effect is when attacking. So they attack with this first one, and I just block straight up, and then rest the other Ymir that hasn't attacked yet. Therefore, technically moving or removing 2 attacks from the board, or 3 attacks currently, because I block 1 and then I freeze 2 off of 1 character. But yeah, I forgot they had impact here. I was gonna block again with the Envy, but if they had impact, I decided not to, which is fine because I actually get a color trigger and I get to play this Envy back to the front line. And then I take this one as well, and I get another color trigger, and so I play this to the front line to draw a card and trash a card, putting me further down into my deck. Yeah, don't sideline that Wrath, Donovan. Please. So those color triggers were actually big because they are at minimum support for, or chump blockers for the Ymirs. Oh yeah, I'm trying to play out these Wraths to set up for next turn. Move that, and then I have 1 more AP, so I'm debating on what I want. I think I have to start going for game because I have 2 life left and they have 2 impactors. So I play this to the energy line, for next turn, and just praying that I can get out of the clapback here. So I do use the gluttony effect once again, essentially forcing out a block because they don't want to go down to 1 life. But I draw a card off of that, and then although no, yeah, this was the right play for my opponent. I was thinking if they had taken that, they would only have to worry about the envy, but they don't have a card that blocks over 4,000. Because I can't really swing with this envy either. This is really here just as a chump blocker for a Ymir second attack, so they can attack with the Ymir. I'll block with this envy to rest the other Ymir. They'll attack again with this Ymir, and then I can block with this envy, keeping the gluttony. And then the Historia has impact, and I'll take 1 damage, but hopefully I wouldn't. Just I more than likely, unless they top deck another raid Historia, then we would be in some deep trouble. But as it stands, they have no cards in hand, no other impactors on the field. So that's the idea behind this envy. I was thinking about it. I know there is a greed card which is nullify impact. Maybe that would be worth it in a deck like this. Because I find myself at these low life pools a lot, and impactors are just, game finishers. But it worked out. It worked out for this turn. So I block to rest that one for their attack phase. And then I block with this one. I actually forgot about this Mikasa's secondary effect. I actually get a big trigger here. This Mikasa's second effect is plus 1,000, so she actually swings for 4k here. But I actually get a huge sideline trigger here to sideline the Mikasa, so I don't even have to lose another body on the board. And then from here, I'm looking at the board. Finally have what I need to push up this King Bradley, push up both of these because I'm going for game. All I need to do here is rest the stage, or I could just rest the stage to get a card in the sideline. So now both of these have impact now, so it's mostly game from here. I get double damage to try to fully close out the game here, just in one swing, but more than likely just forcing a block out, draw a card. But I'll swing for impact here. They get a draw trigger and then swing for impact again, and they get a raid trigger. So they didn't have any targets to raid into, and that wouldn't have helped anyways. But the only thing here that I would have lost to is an active trigger. If there's another, let me see. I don't think there was another way to play this turn out. If I attacked with the King Bradley first, this weak one, forcing a block out. Let's say this one blocked out, and then yeah, no, an active trigger just would have saved them no matter what, active or final, or sideline as well. Yeah, so it all depended on triggers there. I got saved by the triggers on me. Not completely saved, because I think the game plan would have still been the same. Would have just pushed the other Wrath up, go to 20, and double impact swing. So not completely saved, but it made it a lot easier, giving me another attacker with this gluttony, a double damage attacker at that. So finally made it work, but like I said, I didn't even see Father this game, so he was a non-factor. But yeah, so let's talk about this deck one last time. So the changes I would have made, I probably would go there's two ways to think about it. If we're moving away from father, I would take these out. Take or put this King Bradley. The reason why I wasn't running this King Bradley is because it's a 6 energy, and I was already having trouble being consistently around 4 and 5. So if we were to run this, it'll probably be here, here, drop these, drop these, because it's double, double, double. So 8, 10 double energy generators. That's pretty big. The searcher is pretty big. I guess I would no longer need these either. So in that case, it would probably be here for more raid targets. Drop these because there are no triggers, so I'll pick up 2 more of these. Is that enough? Maybe this pride will go in, but this pride is made more for the Kimberly deck. Kimberly deck looks fun. I'm excited for that one. But this is the greed I was talking about, the nullify impactor one. It's also an active trigger, so maybe it's not too bad to just drop into the deck. But yeah, if I were to build this, that I would assume to be more consistent, this is how I would build it. To run more of the King Bradley as focus. Maybe because I'm still running a lot of sideline stuff, I would run 1 father, and let's go back up to 2 stages to drop 3 cards from the deck. That would probably be 1, 2. Oops, 1, 2. Any other non-triggers? 3 cards. I guess 3. That would probably be best if I was still looking for running father, and just having this King Bradley as a more consistent double attacker, at least for the turn that it's played. And then the activate main is also pretty good. But I know this card is made more for the Kimberly deck. That's why I wasn't running it. But this is how I would run it if I were to run the father. Now, if I were to, let's say, go up these, I would go up 2 more of these, take out all of the Bradley stuff, except for that double energy generator. Like I said, add a little bit more defense. So maybe, should I max out these? Let's go back up to these gluttonies. I'm gonna run these at max for now. Yeah, maybe something like this. If I were to focus on father, because like I said, now that I know that I was playing this lust wrong the whole time, the father probably isn't that hard. I was just making it harder on myself. But yeah, throwing in these greeds as nullify impactors with just a little bit more defense, and then these gluttonies actually helped me out a ton. This is probably how I would build this. Actually, you know, no, I think this is better than the gluttonies. It has a trigger, and it has more. But the gluttony, it's a mix between 2 of these or 2 gluttonies. I'll have to do some deck testing to see which I would actually like more. But this also is just a bit, like I said, a bit more consistent father. But like I said, like you guys saw, I was playing this lust incorrectly. So maybe I'll have to revisit this deck in the future. But for now, that's going to be the episode. Thank you all so much for watching. kind of a long one because I was yelling at myself the whole time. But next video, I promise I'll actually play by the rules and not cheat. To be honest, I wasn't cheating anybody but myself, so I can't even feel bad. But I will see you all on the next one.